How do you avoid picking the wrong projects? And importantly, what is the relationship between picking the effective data science projects and the data science maturity of your organization? That is the focus of today's video, and I'm excited to bring another session to you based on our learnings from Gramener. In the last video, we looked at the typical data science journey of an organization, and we saw how they progress over time, and once they reach a critical point, from there they can take three trajectories. They could either keep continuing doing the good work, or they might stagnate, or worse, they might get disillusioned with data science and cut down on their investments. Now, once you identified a list of projects, how do you pick the right one, and how do you ensure that that will take you on this trajectory? So there are three factors you will have to consider to prioritize your data science projects. Number one, urgency. Number two, impact. And number three is feasibility. We'll come back to it. Urgency talks about how soon you need it. Is it hurting your business as of yesterday? Impact talks about what kind of a revenue impact, increase in revenue or margins, or the savings in cost or productivity that this initiative can deliver. So we'll convert this into a 2x2 quadrant. So this top right quadrant, high on urgency and high on impact. Projects, initiatives such as controlling customer attrition fall right here. So this is urgent, and this can have a huge impact on the top line and bottom line. Projects which are low on urgency but high on impact, knowing more about the customer intelligence, and identifying what is the latest impact they've had. All of these can be useful. You may not need it like tomorrow, but it can be very useful in improving your relationship and growing your presence. High on urgency and low on impact. This quadrant is interesting. This is where you have the typical fires. Urgent, you have to immediately put them out, but they may not add to the long-term benefits. For example, your internal sales process is broken, you will have to fix it. But does it deliver a huge impact? Maybe not. And this fourth quadrant is a notorious one, low on urgency and low on impact. So these are the nice to have ones. So this is where the pet projects live. Doing AI because it is the cool thing. So all of these fall into this quadrant. So we'll have to look at which of your projects are the quick wins that can help you improve versus the strategic ones that will give benefits in the longer run. The third factor is feasibility. Feasibility in terms of data, availability of data, technology, and third is budget. There might be some of these projects which are not feasible today because data is not available, or you don't have the right skill sets, or it is expensive. So whichever other projects which are green lighted, they can be picked up and they are obvious ones. Whereas the ones which are not feasible, potentially if they fall into the strategic and quick wins category, if you don't have data for them today, maybe that becomes another data engineering new initiative which you take up, so that this will help you move towards this in the next quarter, and so on. So that way, these are the current focus areas, and this can be in the future. So now that we've looked at the four quadrants, picking up projects in this strategic quadrant will help you move up in maturity. So they directly add and help you grow over time. There are organizations who just focus on the urgent projects, urgent and low impact, and urgent and some high impact. So they are the ones who typically languish in this flat zone. They have been doing it for a couple of years, execute 10, 20 data science projects, but they don't see the maturity going up. Maybe they are missing out on doing more of the strategic projects. And the ones which are falling down, they might be choosing more of these nice to have quadrant projects. A lot of good ones, but they really don't add to the business benefit. Eventually it leads to disillusionment. So that's how the quadrant translates to the data maturity. So when you look at your laundry list of projects, slot them into a quadrant like this. Look at these three factors and pick the right mix of the quick wins and strategic ones. Do share your experience picking the projects, what kind of challenges you went through. Hope you found this useful. Thank you.